Hello, my dear fifth grade students. I'm Mr. Ahmed Magdy, your math teacher. Our lesson today is the fifth lesson of the fourth unit of the fifth grade curriculum for the academic year 2024-2025. Today is the last lesson in unit 4, which was about division. However, this lesson is about using all the mathematical operations to be able to solve word problems because all of today's questions are multi-step problems. I hope you focus today so that we can understand how to solve word problems in general and multi-step problems in particular. So let's go. Our first example here, or first question here, he said, in 1 year, a school used 15,730 red papers, 3,960 fewer blue papers than red papers, and 4,510 fewer green papers than blue papers. How many papers were used in all? So I want to know the total of all papers. Okay, so I have three types. The first one is the red papers, the second one is the blue papers, and the third one is the green papers. And after that, I want to know the total. Okay, so the first one here is the red papers. He said a school used 15,730 red papers. So this is the number of red papers. So I will write it right here. So I have 15,730. Okay, this is our first type. The second type is the blue papers. I have 3,960 fewer blue papers than red papers. So I want to subtract this number from the number of red papers. So I have 15,730 minus the difference here between the two types. I have 3,960. Okay, so I will subtract the two numbers here. So I have 0 minus 0 equals 0. 3 minus 6, it can be. So I will borrow from 7 becomes 6 and 3 becomes 13. So 13 minus 6 equals 7. And 6 minus 9, it can be. So I will borrow from 5 becomes 4 and 6 becomes 16. So 16 minus 9 equals 7. And I have 14 minus 3 equals 11. So the total number of blue papers is 11,770 papers. Okay. The third type here is the green papers. So he said 4,510 fewer green papers than blue papers. So this number is the difference between green papers and blue papers. So I will subtract this number 4,510 from the number of blue papers that I got here. I have 11,770. So I will subtract the two numbers. So I have 11,770 minus 4,510. Okay, so 0 minus 0 equals 0. 7 minus 1 equals 6. 7 minus 5 equals 2. And 11 minus 4 equals 7. So the number of green papers is 7,260 papers. Okay, next I want the total. Okay, so I will add all numbers together. So I have the red one, the blue one, and the green one. The red one was 15,730. The blue one was 11,770. And the third one is 700 to 7,260. Okay, so I have 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals 0. 3 plus 7 equals 10. 10 plus 6 equals 16. So I will write 6 and carry up 1. 1 plus 7 equals 8. 8 plus 7 equals 15. And 15 plus 2 equals 17. So I will write 7 and carry up 1. 1 plus 5 equals 6. 6 plus 1 equals 7. 7 plus 7 equals 14. So I will write 4 and carry up 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. So I have 34,760 papers. And this is the total number of all papers. Okay. The second question with us today is Hani and his father are going to on a road trip to his grandfather's house, which is 700 kilometers away. On the first day, they travel 253 kilometers. On the second day, they travel 307 kilometers. How many kilometers will they need to travel to reach his grandfather's house? Okay, so first I want to know how many kilometers they traveled. Okay, so I have here on the first day they traveled 253 kilometers. On the second day they traveled 307 kilometers. Okay, so the total of kilometers they traveled will be 253 plus 307. So it will be 3 plus 7 equals 10 and carry up 1. 1 plus 5 equals 6 plus 0 equals 6. 2 plus 3 equals 5. So the total number of 2 days is 560 kilometers. So I want the remainder. How many kilometers they will need to travel? So I will say the remainder will be the difference between the two numbers. So I will subtract 700 minus 560, and the remainder will be 140 kilometers. Okay, so they need to travel 140 kilometers. The next question is about this. Ashraf has 1,578 pounds. He bought a book for 52 pounds, and by the left money, he bought 14 shirts of the same kind. What is the cost of each shirt? Okay, so he bought 14 shirts of the same kind with how many pounds? I don't know, because I want to know the left money first. So I will say the left money equals what? The difference between the price of the book and the total money that he had. So I will say 1,578 minus 52 pounds. So 8 minus 2 equals 6, 7 minus 5 equals 2, and 15 minus 0 equals 15. So the left money was 1,526 pounds. Okay, so this is the cost of 14 shirts. This is the cost of 14 shirts. But I want to know the cost of each shirt. So the cost of each shirt equals what? I will divide the cost of all shirts by the number of shirts. So I will say 1526 divided by 40. So let's remember the long division. I have 1526 divided by 14. So I will write the timetable of 14 first to use it in the division operation. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, 1 by 14 equals 14, 2 by 14 equals 28, 3 by 14 equals 42, 4 by 14 equals 56, 5 by 14 equals 70, and 6 by 14 equals 84, and 7 by 14 equals 98. I think we will need 8 and 9. 8 by 14 equals 112, and 9 by 14 equals 126. Okay, so the first digit here is 1. 1 divided by 14, it can be. So I will write 1 0 here, and I will use the second digit. So I have 15 divided by 14. 15 divided by 14 equals what? I will use 14 because it's less than 15. So I will write 14 here, and I will divide the two numbers here. 15 divided by 14 divided by 14 equals 1, and the remainder is 1. The next digit is 2. Here I have 12 divided by 14. The first number is less than the second number, so I cannot divide. So I will write 1 0 here, and I will get the next digit. So I have here 126. 126 is in the timetable of 14. I have 9 by 14 equals 126. So I will take all the numbers. So I have 126 divided by 14 equals 9. So the remainder is 0. So the cost of each shirt will be 109 pounds. Okay? The next question is like that. I have Amgad saved 550 pounds. Basim saved 3 times as much as Amgad. And Sameh saved 900 pounds, more than Amgad. So how many pounds were saved by all of them? So I want the total of the 3 persons. Okay, so first I want the money that was with Amgad. Next, I want the money that was with Sameh. Basim first. And after that, I want the money that with Sameh. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Amgad saved 550 pounds. So this is the money that is with Amgad now. So I have here 550 pounds. Okay, Basim saved it 3 times as much as Amgad. So I will multiply, or I will repeat the money that was with Amgad 3 times. So I have 550 multiplied by 3. So 0 times 3 equals 0. 5 times 3 equals 15, so I will write 5 and carry up 1. 3 times 5 equals 15 plus 1 equals 16. So the money that with Basim is 1,650 pounds. Okay, so the third one here is Sameh. Sameh saved 900 pounds more than Amgad. So Amgad here has 550 pounds and Sameh has 900 pounds more. So I will add 550 to 900. So it will be 1,450 pounds. So this is the money that with the third person Sameh. Okay, but I want the money that with them all. So I want the total of all money. Okay, so Amgad has 550. Basim has 1,650. And Sameh has 1,450. Okay, so 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals 0. 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15, so I will write 5 and carry up 1. 1 plus 5 equals 6. 6 plus 6 equals 12. 12 plus 4 equals 16, so I will write 6 and carry up 1. Okay, so 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. So the total money here will be 3,650 pounds. Okay, so this is the total money for the three persons. Okay, next I have an example like this. A baker made 140 servings of baklava for a party. If each baking tray holds 12 servings of baklava, how many trays will be needed to hold all the baklava? So I want here to divide the total number of servings here over the numbers of trays here. Okay, so I want to divide the total number here divided by the number of servings here. Okay, so I will say number of trays will be 140 divided by the number of servings for every tray, so it will be 12. Okay, so I want to divide these two numbers. So let's try to get the division operation here. I have 140 divided by 12. I think I will use the timetable of 12, but let's try to not use it. Okay, so I have 1 divided by 12. It can be because 1 is less than 12, so I will write 10 here. The first two digits here will be 14. 14 is not in the timetable of 12, so I will try to find a number that less than 14 and in the timetable of 12. I think it will be 12. 12 divided by 12 equals 1. Okay, and the remainder will be 2. The next digit here will be 0, so I have 20. But 20 is not in the timetable of 12, so I will try to find a number that less than 12, so I think it will be 12 again. So 12 divided by 12 equals 1, and the remainder will be 8. So this is the remainder and this is the result, but I cannot say that the number of trays is 11 and I have 8 servings remaining. So what can I do? So I will say the number here will be 11, remainder 8. But if I want to answer this question, how many trays will be needed to hold all the baklava, I think it will be 12. But why? Because the last 8 servings will be held in a new tray. So I think we will need 12 trays. Okay, so I will say 12 trays will be needed to hold all the baklavas. Okay, okay. The next question here, and the last one I have, Zainab ordered 12 packages of fabric squares to make a quilt. Each package has 18 fabric squares. And Zainab used all the squares for her quilt. Reem made a quilt that was 13 squares wide by 13 squares long. How many fewer squares did Reem use than Zainab for her quilt? So I think here I want to know the difference between the number of squares of the first quilt and the number of squares of the second quilt. Okay, so let's begin with Zainab's quilt. So I think the number of squares in Zainab's quilt will be like that. She ordered 12 packages of fabric, and every package has 18 fabric squares. So what is the total number of squares for the quilt or the packages that Zainab ordered? Okay, so I think I will multiply the number of packages by the number of squares. So I think it will be 12 by 18. So 12 by 18 equals what? 12 by 8 equals 96. So I will write 6 and carry up 9. 12 by 1 equals 12. And 12 plus 9 equals 21. So the number of fabrics here, or the fabric squares, will be 216 squares. Okay, this is the first quilt, or Zainab's quilt. Okay, but Reem's quilt has or was 13 squares wide by 13 squares long. So I will multiply the number of squares wide by the number of squares long. So I think 13 by 13 equals 169. Okay, because 13 by 3 equals 39. So I will write 9 and carry up 3. 13 by 1 equals 13 and plus 3 equals 16. So the number of squares in Reem's quilt will be 169 squares. Okay, so I want to know the difference between Reem's and Zainab's quilt to answer the question. Okay, so I will say the difference here will be like that. I will subtract the two numbers. So I have 216 minus 169. And I think the number of squares will be 47. 47 squares. So this is the answer for his question. The difference between Reem's quilt and Zainab's quilt will be 47 squares. Okay, and with this we have finished our video today, in which we talked about using all mathematical operations to be able to solve word problems. I hope people understood our lesson today, and I hope that you solve many exercises in this lesson so that you can understand more. If you have any questions, send them in the comments. Don't forget to like and share the video with your friends and subscribe to my channel. I will see you in a new video and a new lesson. I'm Mr. Ahmed Magdy. Goodbye.